All right, old school NBA fans, self-researched NBA facts. Gonna do another video. Man, I was out of it for about a week. I was sick with something. I don't know what it was. Zapped me in my energy. Just now starting to feel like myself again. So, I really wasn't watching too much YouTube either. I was just kind of in a daze. But, I feel pretty good now. And I wake up and everybody's trying to give more ammunition. How, LeBron, if he does this, he's the GOAT. Oh, he passed Michael Jordan for the most 30-point games. And again, totality should never be, accumulative total numbers should never be the defining factor when comparing players. Just shouldn't. If that's the case, you better have Emmitt Smith as the greatest running back of all time. And you better have Cy Young as the greatest pitcher of all time. I don't think that's going to be the case. He's got the most wins. That's, we all know that's a joke. I don't think that anybody looks at Jerry Rice as the greatest receiver because of his yards. It's mainly because he's got the 3 Super Bowls and 200 touchdowns. It's the totality of it all. Just like Tom Brady, he's got the all-time passing yards, passing touchdowns, playoff yards, playoff passing touchdowns, but he has 7 Super Bowls. It's all of it combined. And in basketball, obviously it's a little different. You look at per game stats is the best way to compare players. You can't just look at totality and think that that's going to do anything. But in this video here, I'm looking at his teammate help, and I compared it against Michael Jordan. Now, I might do all the all-time greats, I don't know, but I did these two. That's what everybody wants to see, right? Well, I compared how much of a certain kind of help did each player get. For example, Michael Jordan played in 37 playoff series. I decided to do this by the series, so somebody, just one random game, may not really tell the story. Like Michael Jordan has only ever had 6 players ever score 30 points in a playoff game in 179 playoff games. That was by far the lowest. And I think LeBron had like 41 or some really high number. But what if we look at per series? Okay, so how many times in Michael Jordan's 37 series did he have a teammate that made 10 3-pointers? He had shooters. He had Craig Hodges. He had John Paxson, B.J. Armstrong, Tony Kukoc. He had Steve Kerr. He had some shooters. Not as many as LeBron, obviously, but 10 times in 37 series did he have a teammate for 27% of the time. That's pretty good. There's a lot of players that have more, but that's, not bad. Now, steals per game. Would you believe 2.5 steals per game or more? 7 times Michael Jordan had a teammate do it, and I think it was Scottie Pippen pretty much every time. 18.9%. How about 2+ blocks per game? A good rim protector. 3 times in 37 series for 8.1%. How about a teammate getting him 10+ rebounds per game in a series? That happened 16 times. Now, he had Horace Grant, Charles Oakley, and maybe the best rebounder of all time, Dennis Rodman. So 16 of the 37, that comes to 43.2%. So he definitely had rebounding help. Now, 25+ points per game in a series. How many times did that happen? 0. Michael Jordan never had a teammate get him 25 or more points per game in a series. It never happened. Not Pippen, not anybody. LeBron James, let's see what he had. in three-pointers made, 10 or more three-pointers in a series, in his 83 series. Or I'm sorry, 53 series. LeBron played in 53 series. 56 times he had a teammate hit 10 or more three-pointers. 105%, which means he has more than one doing it on average. And I know, the three-point shot is more of the game, and now, okay, sure, we can factor that in, no problem. But the fact remains, Michael Jordan had 10 out of 37 for 27% of the time. LeBron James had 56 teammates out of 53 series for 105%, for about 4 times more frequently. Now, how about 2.5 steals per game? Only twice did LeBron ever have that, at 3.7%. Jordan, it was 18.9%. So Jordan had more perimeter defensive help, you could say. Okay, no problem. Blocks per game, 8 times out of 53 series, LeBron had a player get him 2 or more blocks per game, or 15.1%. Michael Jordan had 8.1%. Only 3 times it happened. So he had better rim protection. So you could say Michael Jordan had better perimeter defensive help, and LeBron James had better rim protection. Look. All right. Rebounds per game. 10 plus rebounds per game. LeBron had 18 players do that for him out of 53 series for 33.9%. Jordan had 16 for 43.2%. So Jordan did have, a little bit of help in that regard. 25 plus points per game. LeBron had 11 teammates in 53 series get him 25 or more. That's a lot of help. 20.7% of the time, he's got a teammate scoring 25 or more for the series. Jordan never had that, not once. So based on what I'm seeing here, when it comes to offense, when you look at the 25 plus points per game and the 3-point shooting, LeBron had much more help on the offensive end than Michael Jordan did. Much more. Now, rebounding, Jordan at 43.2 and LeBron at 33.9. That's a difference in 9.3%. So a little bit in favor of Jordan. But again, he had Rodman, Horace Grant, Pippen probably maybe had one of those, whatever. He had rebounding help. Charles Oakley early in his career. But it was only marginal over LeBron. And LeBron, because of his position, would get a lot of those rebounds that would prohibit his teammates from getting a lot of rebounds too. But even with that, it's still pretty close. It's within 10%. Now, in the steals per game, no doubt, Jordan had better perimeter help. Ron Harper, Scottie Pippen, he did have a little bit better perimeter defense in his career. Okay, sure. But down low, you got to say it's LeBron. LeBron, 15.1%, 2 plus blocks per game. He had Chris Bosh, Tristan Thompson, he had Big Z and Anderson Varejao, Shaq for that 1 year, Anthony Davis, of course, he's the one who had several of these. Jordan only 3 times did a player get 2 plus blocks per game. Hell, I think one of them was Pippen. So again, you would have to say that LeBron definitely had more rim protection help on defense. So the defense is kind of split. You could say Jordan had better perimeter help and LeBron had better rim protection help. So to me, defense is kind of split. Offense, there's really no argument to be made that LeBron did not have better offensive help than Michael Jordan. It's just not close. I did other videos, one of them about the bench players. Daniel Gibson had at least, I think he had 4 20-point games coming off the bench, which tied how many Jordan had for every teammate in his whole career. He had a lot more help coming off the bench. He had 3-point snipers. He had shooters, scorers, Dwayne Wade, Kyrie Irving. You know, he had Kevin Love and Chris Bosh and Anthony Davis. He's just had a plethora of good players help him. And even early in his career with Big Z and Mo Williams, I mean, maybe not by themselves were they great players, but they made all-star teams. You know, they've put up numbers before. Big Z, you know, I think he was like an 18-10 guy, maybe even close to 20-10. You know, pretty solid player, two-time All-Star. Anderson Varejao, he made all-defense, or was really close to making all-defense, like would be voted in the top 20 several times. And then the other one, of course, you know, Dwayne Wade, you know, he had him and Bosh and all that help. They had a ton of help. And, you know, he had basically the best team in the East from 2009 through 2018 for 10 years straight. The best team in the East, hands down, was whatever team he was on. Cleveland, Miami, Cleveland. No doubt about it. And he won 3 titles. I mean, the best roster in the NBA, without a doubt, from 11 to 14. He won 2. Semi-failure. Especially when you're up 2-1. But I'll do another video on probably the 2010 collapse coming up. So, anyway, that's it.